Hey, everybody, Kevin here with Pursuing Pixels, and welcome back to another edition of Save It for the Cast, and you know the drill by now. I'm going to be talking about some of the stuff that I've been playing lately, just been kind of jumping around all over the place before I kick it over to John, Randall, and I for a little video games chit-chat. Relatively focused video games chit-chat, kind of some just relatively light first impressions on Hollow Knight Silksong. Both John and Randall have been digging into that, so we talk a little bit about that. And then they both also dig into just a little bit of their resolution games, more John and Randall talking a little Yakuza 0. And then John just kind of not necessarily dreading getting into his, but just knowing he's got a pretty full plate, pretty big game to tackle here with Umineko When They Cry. We talk a little seagulls and french fries and cicadas as well, spinning off of that. But yeah, I'll kick it over to that in just a little bit here after I rattle off some of the stuff that I've been playing and some of the stuff that I've been scooping up lately. It's been a little while, I feel like, since I ran over to the retro shops or any of the video game stores recently after being super busy with all these weddings and just a little bit of travel I had. Not necessarily travel, but just a few trips I had. I guess that is travel, but yeah, a few things going on over the summer. I've just been super busy over the last couple months. But the other day I had a chance to run to the bank and then make it over. It's right near this one video game store that I tend to pop into every month or so, you know, just to see if they've gotten anything new in. And it actually seemed like they did get a pretty recent dump of some Nintendo stuff. Like they had a pretty big GameCube selection, nothing that I was on the hunt for or anything like that. But they also had quite a few Nintendo DS and 3DS games that I hadn't seen out there yet. So ended up scooping up a few things, just 3 games to add to the physical collection here. I ended up snagging Wipeout, the Omega Collection for the PlayStation 4, kind of like an F-Zero inspired racing game. I feel like very F-Zero inspired, but this is a pretty long-running series back to the original PlayStation. I'm kind of like relatively ignorant to the series, so I was just looking it up before I jumped on here. I was thinking this was like a remake of like the original PlayStation games, but apparently it's a remake of Wipeout 2048, Wipeout HD, and Wipeout Fury, which was like an expansion to Wipeout HD, all of which I believe were on the PlayStation 3. So I've been playing a little bit of that. That was actually the game I was playing just before hopping on here. I tend to like the stuff on Wipeout HD and Wipeout Fury a little bit better, or HD Fury, whatever it's called, as opposed to the newer one, the Wipeout 2048. It's just like almost like a little bit too fast and too slick. Like I just end up like losing my momentum and like, or not losing my momentum, I should say, just losing my ability to steer on the track with all the momentum. But I do like the few different game modes. It's kind of interesting. Like you have like regular races against other opponents, you know, computer racers and stuff like that. And then you have other races that are just like you get 3 laps to get a certain time. And if you clear it on the first lap, you just move right along. And then there's these zone races, which are like individual, kind of almost like a time trial, but your car or your vehicle, it's kind of like a hovercraft, just keeps like speeding up essentially indefinitely, and you just have to survive because your car, just like an F-Zero, or your vehicle, it's definitely not a car. But yeah, it's like a super futuristic racing game. Yeah, very much in the vein of F-Zero, like I said before. But yeah, you just take damage as you hit the walls, and as you're racing other opponents, some of the tracks will have like pickups and weapons and stuff like that. Pretty basic, like just like machine guns, missiles, speed boost, shields, like nothing too crazy, but it's been pretty fun to fire that one up. It's just a good looking game. It does, I believe, even have a VR mode. I don't have the VR for the PlayStation, but it is something that I've considered getting over the years, and that's just another game to add to the, I was going to say add to the collection, but add to the incentive to scoop up the PlayStation VR at some point, because I would like to try some of these out, even though I feel like something this fast paced would like possibly make you a little bit nauseous. But yeah, I've been playing a little bit of that, like I said, just before I hopped on here. And then last night I was playing a little bit of Yoshi's New Island on the 3DS, which honestly, I don't even know if I knew existed before I scooped it up and saw it at the store the other day. I was just kind of browsing through, and unfortunately, I feel like a lot of times with the portable games for DS and 3DS, they don't have like the actual like box and manual and stuff like that. I guess the 3DS games oftentimes don't have a manual at all. They just have like the little like inserts telling you about the digital manual and stuff like that. But nonetheless, at some point, I guess I just kind of stopped paying attention to the 3DS releases because, yeah, there's been a bunch of times I've been over at the store, even games that I haven't picked up, but just been like, oh, I didn't know there was like this spin-off Triforce Heroes Zelda game, or I didn't know there was this like Kirby multiplayer battle game, or maybe I was like vaguely aware of it, but just kind of, forgot about it. And yeah, this Yoshi's New Island game, like I knew they made one for the DS that had all the extra characters like Baby Donkey Kong and Wario and Peach and stuff like that. But Yoshi's New Island, the little bit I played through the first world and the first level of the second world, and it feels like very much just like a throwback to the original Yoshi's Island. Very much a lot of fun. Pretty simple. I feel like it dumbs it down maybe just a little bit from the original, and definitely has like probably the least striking art style. It uses the 3D effect on the 3DS just a little bit, but of all like the Yoshi's Island and Yoshi's spin-off games, like I would say this and like Yoshi's Story on the Nintendo 64 are probably like the two, I don't want to say least appealing looking games, but like the least inspired in their art style. Like the original Yoshi's Island kind of has that hand-drawn crayon aesthetic to it, whereas some of the newer games have like the Woolly World where everything's made out of yarn, and Crafted World kind of similar aesthetic, but more of like everything's just made out of like, hand stuff you find around the house and stuff like that. So, I would say Yoshi's New Island lacking a little bit in the personality department, but as far as like the level design goes, it's been just, really fun. The usual level of challenge, obviously, if you're going for 100%. It's very, very challenging, and it does bring back the typical baby gameplay where if you take a hit, Baby Mario flies off your back into a little bubble and you got to run and chase him down and bring them on back. So it's definitely pretty difficult stuff, but I'm having a lot of fun with that one so far. And then the other game I scooped up was Dodgeball Academia on Nintendo Switch, which I was super pumped to see at the store because I saw it one time before, but the packaging was like a little bit damaged. I ended up talking myself out of scooping it up that time, and then I ended up going back to the store in hopes, like I was, obviously looking for different stuff too, but I was like, you know what, that packaging wasn't so bad. Maybe I will just scoop up that copy that they have here, and of course it was gone by then. But I believe when I saw it that time, it was about $25, and actually all three of these games here that I ended up scooping up at the shop this last time around were 17. So really feel like I got some good prices on those. Dodgeball Academia, I haven't had any time to really put in any significant amount of time into this time around. I think I talked about it a while back on the podcast when I played it via Game Pass. It's just like a very like kind of JRPG, Pokemon inspired, and like the way, at least something about the way you like got into battles. It was like felt very much like you're like exploring the overworld and running into trainer battles like in Pokemon. But then the battles themselves play out like almost like old school, Super Dodgeball or whatever, a little bit more complex than that. But it's just a very, very cool game. I really liked what I played of it on Game Pass and only popped it in the Switch to just make sure that everything worked okay. But yeah, really excited to have that one in the collection and add it to the shelf here. And then, the other game that I've been playing a whole bunch of on Nintendo Switch that I'm really not going to talk about here because I think I want to save it for an episode of the podcast proper is Blaster Master Zero. And I don't want to say I've been playing a whole bunch of it, but it's a game that I've had in my collection from like the very, very early days of getting my Nintendo Switch. Like I feel like it was one of the first games that I downloaded. And I just really haven't had a chance to go back to it. I've had plenty of chances to go back to it, but I just haven't gotten around to going back to it. And I really didn't realize that it was so much of a remake of the original Blaster Master. Like, I kind of thought it was just like a reimagining, and it is in a lot of ways, but it really is like very true to like the level design and the gameplay, because I did look up some trailers for Blaster Master 0, 2, and 3, and it definitely seems like it cranks up the speed, especially in like the overhead segments of the game where you're playing like in more of the top-down action style as opposed to like the 2D tank gameplay where you're side-scrolling and platforming around and exploring the world. But I've been just having a ton of fun with that one, and it's made me kind of want to go back and check out some of those other like Inti Creates. I feel like they were like on the early side of some of these retro reimaginings, like we've been, talking about, or I've been at least gushing about in Randall as well, like the Pocky and Rocky Reshrined and Wild Guns Reloaded, I think it's called. There's two other ones that I'm drawing a blank on at the moment. Ninja Warriors, Ninja Saviors, whatever it's called. And drawing a blank on the other one. But even like the Ninja Yaya Maru from a different team. Like I've been loving all these retro reimaginings. And I really, now that I've been digging into Blaster Master Zero and after watching those trailers for 2 and 3, I definitely want to scoop those up as well because they just look like even more fun than this first one. And I've really been just having a blast. Like I said, I'm going to save it probably for the cast proper, when I can talk to John and Randall about it. I don't know if Randall's ever spent any significant time with the original NES version. I've only kind of dabbled with it myself, but it makes me really want to kind of go back and compare and contrast, because I just did that recently with Shadow and the Ninja and Shadow and the Ninja Reborn, which is one of the games that I was forgetting to mention earlier from that same team that's done some of those Super Nintendo and in that case NES remakes or reimaginings. But yeah, at this point I'm just rambling here per usual in these intros. But yeah, I've been just having a ton of fun with the games I have been playing. And yeah, like I said, Blaster Master Zero is really the first game I've kind of dug into in quite a while after having all this random travel and stuff coming up over the summer. So yeah, without further ado here, I'll kick it over to John, Randall, and I for a little bit of first impressions on Silksong, like I was saying. Mostly just some kind of like very, very early light thoughts, and then a little bit of other light video games chit-chat and whatnot. And yeah, until next week, we will catch you then, and take care.
Talking about it on the episode proper, but I did play even more Silksong.
Nice.
I turned on the Silksong also, but I want to hear what John thinks of Silksong.
Nice. Have you played it at any of it?
Just through Game Pass. It was on Game Pass, so I
cool.
played. I don't not like I probably played like 40 minutes of it. Like I didn't get meaningfully far into it.
That's about maybe double that, maybe. Like
you were like an hour in when I last saw your time when you saved.
That sounds about right.
When I left.
Yeah, and I didn't play that much more. I got, first couple maps, first couple like map upgrades, and like and it'll show you where all the benches are. And unlock keep meeting little freaks all around. What a great series for little goblins.
Some of them like to sing.
Well, they sing so good.
They do.
That's
that is like legitimately what like broke me, because I was like, I don't really need to get it, and then I kept seeing like clips of all like the little guys like singing little songs. I was like, fuck it, nah, I gotta.
Yeah,
I gotta know what these people feel.
It makes that world feel just so lived in, and I don't know, just so much like personality.
And so many different. Yeah, I just met a new NPC like today when I was playing, and like I just got so excited for the implications of seeing this little freak later on. I was like, this is gonna be so good. There's so many like different like contexts and different things, like, and especially I need to go back to Hollow Knight actually and like actually beat that, because I never beat it on Switch, I never beat it on Steam Deck, but like
really?
I played like 2 files and didn't get very far in the Steam Deck one, but like just a beautiful world, and like I fucking knocked it out of the park.
I thought you had beaten that game, the original one.
No, I played a ton of it, and like I did the same thing where like I got to whatever the like ending point was, and I was like, well, there's still so many little nooks and crannies of the map I haven't been to yet. Like, I can't fight the final boss. I have to like finish every mini quest. I have to see every little thing. It's
yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's fair.
What are your thoughts so far, Randall? Like, and you played some Hollow Knight as well, right?
Oh, like maybe even less than I played of this 40-minute Silksong session. Like,
really?
This was during because John, I think you were selling us on it way back when, and then I'm like, I'll try that too, but then I was like more of a stressed out, busy person then than I am now, even. So it's like it just wasn't in the right headspace, I don't think, to do anything with that.
Yeah, it's not a low stress game.
No. Nope. Mm-mm.
In a multitude of ways, yeah.
I like it so far. I really like, I mean, everybody talks about it. You just did too. The atmosphere is fantastic in these games, and you can feel that in Silksong, and just that's what comes through the most. And I do feel like the action of it is clicking with me more in Silksong than whenever I tried it however many years ago with Hollow Knight. So that's cool. There's like some little thing about the art style that's like in some part of my brain, it doesn't feel like it's as, I don't know, as premium as it could be, which is stupid and bullshit, really? But it's just like, I don't know. It's just like something about it just strikes me as, I don't know, like it's out of like a Newgrounds era sort of thing. Like there's just something of it just doesn't jive with me as much that way.
There's
I'm
a
not
lot
sure
of
why.
flats. Like the colors are very like muted, a single color like per body part. Like they don't,
like not a lot of shading.
Yeah.
Like in that regard, I know what
fine.
You mean.
But yeah, no,
I
can see that.
It's a very minor thing, but I don't know. I like
kind of alien
hominid-esque. Yeah, it's almost like a way souped up Flash game. Like that's like way like over or underselling it. I mean,
that's what it's what it could
kind of
in the back of my head visually at least. That's what like the mechanics of this game are way more advanced than a Flash game, of course. But it's just like I don't know. It's a minor pithy sort of thing, and I'm going to try it again. And I'm glad that I have it through Game Pass because I'm going to keep touching it there. Although Yakuza still steals my kind of downtime default, I would say.
How are you going to talk at all about it, or can I ask?
At some point, I probably should. I'm in chapter 3 now.
So have you met the greatest character of the Yakuza series yet?
I'm not sure. There's some pretty good contestants there. Are we talking about Majima?
Oh, we are absolutely talking about Goro Majima.
Yes, I'm just still through introductions with Majima, although he really does love to bash people's skulls against walls pretty vigorously and crack people's necks.
You gotta keep with your skill set. And his is being a psychopath with an eye patch. And
psychopath is fair. Yeah. I love that we're just like we're destroying people's skulls and we're like cracking their necks from behind, but then at the end of the battle they all kind of get up off the ground and dust themselves
and run away.
And then like just leave. So that's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, millions of yen behind.
Yeah. Only if they're the nouveau rich guys or whatever those. I unlock those guys to show up more. I didn't even know that, to be honest, that there was going to be. I'm pretty still ignorant as to Yakuza and the constructs. I didn't realize there was going to be more than one character to play as in the first place. So that was a cool surprise.
And the family webs get ever more complicated. The inner politics between like each person and like their sub-families. Oh, it's great. It's good drama.
It is, yeah. And some of this, just the scene stuff that they do is it's real good. I'm into it. Sometimes it drags on where we're still like on the same concept and we just have to have 2 more paragraphs about the same concept because we're a Japanese role-playing game at heart. But, it's like, but I can press A through those pretty quickly if I like, I get it, guys. But, but in general, I'm still very much into what they're doing in the story and the character development of it all. It's pretty good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my go-to. I'm so far I'm very glad that it was my resolution game for sure.
And I've made 0 progress on my resolution game.
It sounds like you didn't have any time. So
I booted it up for like a scene while Kevin was there to just like show him what like it looked like, and I was like, oh my god, this is so much reading.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
You're going to have to just like carve out time one way or the other.
Yeah,
you don't have to beat it or anything.
I know I won't
check it out for a little
bit. I definitely won't, but I want to get like some. I want to get at least to like I'm still in like everybody's real buddy in this family and like happy, and there's not even that much tension, and I'm like I know that's not like how this story ends up.
Yeah
This rich inheritance backstabbing family drama I know this is going to break bad. I am aware of what this game is.
Succession.
Well, isn't the subtitle like When They Cry?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yep. And it's about the seagulls, because the earlier one is about cicadas when they cry, and this is seagulls when they cry.
Interesting.
I feel like seagulls are always crying.
It's a different meaning than I meant.
It's great.
Yeah, seagulls are pretty fucking annoying.
Say they're just always saying shit.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty annoying, and for whatever reason, are like think parking lots or
French fries, baby. That's what they've evolved to live off of.
I mean, yeah. Where else is the sea in Illinois? Let's be honest.
Yeah, but then it's just like, why are they even there? Yeah,
French fries.
Yeah, French fries. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we'll see about this. I'm looking at footage from the trailer for the Yoshi thing. I like Yoshi games. We'll see. I'm hopeful, but yeah, there's not a lot to grasp onto here either.
Yeah. And then there's like the new stuff for like Mario Wonder for the Switch 2 version, which seemed like it was like mostly like multiplayer focused stuff, so
yeah.
Wasn't all that interested in that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
All of that screams like we're not going to put a whole bunch of resources behind these things, but this is a way to keep it back into the public sphere. Back in, we'll reintroduce this product and sell it to some Switch 2 consumers.
Yeah,
right.
We don't
and
need
add
to
this
make games anymore. It's the winning strategy for Sony, Microsoft. Everybody's doing it now. Nobody needs to actually make their own games for their console. Everyone else will do it for them.
Really, though, it's true. Yeah, it's very true.
So what's the point in getting
Microsoft
any of
and
them?
Sony? Yeah, I know. You're not wrong.
Yeah,
it's a weird time that way in games. This generation.
It is.
PC seems like the right move there, John. Slash me going back in my retro hidey hole and just owning my physical items until they deteriorate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, like the games that I'm most excited about are like people looking at like the DS library and being like, "Hey, have you ever heard of this game?" And I was like, "No, I haven't."
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's a bummer that there's no legal way to get this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Especially if it had any sort of online capacity. I mean, literally tonight, I was like combing Fiona's hair and she grabs her 2DS and she's like looking at one of those me-based Street Pass sort of games, of which I definitely sunk some time into. And, I'm going to like a Retro Game Expo or like a PAX or one of these like nerdy game expo events. There's going to be so many people with their 3DSs and I'll get like way too, and I'll have to clear out 10 at a time because Nintendo needs artificial caps on everything. So I'll waste all my time doing that. But at least the mini games are fun. But now in this context, some of those things get broken on the other side too, because they don't support some of that infrastructure anymore. I'm worried about some of those games because they got a lot more into that, especially in the 3DS era, but even some of the late DS stuff had some online / interconnectivity stuff that's probably broken now.
Yeah, I miss the fact that like I had neighbors who also had 3DSs that like every day I would get a street pass from my neighbor in like some apartment building in Chicago. And
I love it.
And then when I moved, I felt like I felt a genuine sadness being like, oh, I'm not going to get the street pass anymore.
Yeah. There's that connection that way. It's very sweet.